driving every day. Yeah, because we had it out this morning, but we're from like around Metro Atlanta. So it's about like 3.5 to 4 hours. It was like,
We were at Kingston and we were at the Grizzly.
yeah, it's not like we're not going to, like when you come to the park, we're not going to walk people around because it takes up so much energy to start having really to continue. So you don't want to like have to drive and then go to the park and then
Yeah, we could.
oh yeah, that would be
Be a video like it should be your documentary.
So you've been a part of ACE for a while? No, I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, we got somebody.
The braces will come off. They're gray, they're not painted white, so they stick out. Right up the wrist line, they on the down drop. Those will come out. That was just the whole column drop until they got the track in place.
It's not like we're not going to, like when you come to the park, we're not going to walk people around because it takes up so much energy to start having really to continue. So you don't want to like have to drive and then go to the park and then
Yeah, we could.
oh yeah, that would
Be a video like it should be your documentary.
So you've been a part of ACE for a while? No, I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, we got somebody.
The braces will come off. They're gray, they're not painted white, so they stick out. Right up the wrist line, they on the down drop. Those will come out. That was just the whole column drop until they got the track in place. So once we get the last sheets connected, those will come out.
What is that you got?
And big red crane over here, we're done with big red crane. We just need a smaller hydraulic crane to finish putting the ride together. So we'll pull. Question was, what are we going to use for Slingshot as far as cranes go? We'll bring another crane in, a hydraulic crane to put the Slingshot up. It's a pretty easy lift. It's 200 feet. Slingshot 60 meters, 198 feet, 197, depends on how you round the math. Okay, if you'll follow me, we're going to go around here and I'll take you right through the fence.
Will the Slingshot have to have flashing lights on the top?
I'll answer that one in a minute.
Okay. Sorry.
We're on the webcam, save a picture of ourselves.
They got a lot of painting to do in here. All of the
This is the location if you want to get pictures close to the track. You can tell real shiny on the top here. They painted this track. So just keep your hands off the top of it. Photos over here. I'll go over here and stand as far as I want you to go, so you can see the tunnel. So now I walked across there pretty good. So if anybody paid attention where I walked, you won't get too muddy, but it's your shoes.
Never get this quick.
Never be allowed.
Well,
Right over here is as far as we need to go. If you want to look at hole we've got over here that the ride goes down into, and the bridge will actually go across the ride. Is your entry portal for the park. The question was, what are we using to protect the people in the ride? There is an 8-foot fence that'll be up here along the ride bridge itself. So we're also going to put video cameras on it. So we'll have video of anybody trying to throw anything on the ride. But we've checked with our safety people, third-party inspectors, Fehnel, and so far we don't think we're going to have a problem.
Good stuff.
We'll see how successful it is.
Hey, I have a question. Like you see, like these little gray patches, like especially on the rails. Like you guys go back through and touch that up.
Yep.
Yes. The question was these little gray spots you see up here on the rails. That's actually where they grinded the rails as the pieces have been put together.
Yeah.
And then the painters are actually going back and repainting those. So the erector will actually grind and prime them, and then we've got a paint contractor who comes out here and actually repaints it the same color. That's why the bottom of this track is wet, because they painted it today. We've been waiting for some really good weather, and this is great weather for painting, for track erection, for construction. It's dry, it's relatively warm, it's above 40 degrees, so above 40 degrees and dry, we can do about anything we want to.
Hey, Steve. What? There were some questions earlier about the rails, if they're filled with sand or not.
All right, we had a question, is this track filled full of sand? This track is not full of sand.
The box isn't, the rails
The
are.
box is not. The rails aren't either.
The rails are.
The rails are full of sand?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's what they told me in Claremont.
Okay, well, we have sand in our rails. I learned something new today, too.
I learned it at Claremont.
I have one question.
What I hear, it makes it quieter. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
This is an amazing angle over here. Going through this section, what's it forecasted to be going miles per hour?
The speed through this section right here, the down drop or right going into the horseshoe?
Yeah, right up here. I'm just curious. I mean, that's an amazing angle.
You know, it would be, I guarantee it'd be more than 0.
It better be.
I don't know the exact answer, but the down drop is 95 miles an hour. The entry speed at the brakes at the end of the ride is 55 miles an hour. So I'll let you make your own interpolation. If I don't have the right answer, I don't want to guess. But if I had to guess, I'd say you're probably 60 miles an hour, maybe 65.
Well, it's low to the ground. I've seen people faster.
Yeah, if you go back and look at the animation,
out from here,
with it being real low to the ground, it looks like it maintains a lot of its speed.
Yeah. So I would say I would say the 80s, probably.
We have a guess over here. It's in the 80s.
Because it stays
gotta
low
be
to the,
above
after
60
the
at this point,
after the
yeah.
bullet turn, it
low
stays
points
really low
anyway.
to the ground. So
You know, it's always better to under-promise than over-deliver.
yeah.
That's
Case in
amazing.
point.
Thank you.
Any other questions back there? I got one up front.
Yeah, so like when you're looking at the support structure on here, this one is facing outwards, where like on the on that other turn behind you, you know, like the diagonal piece is facing inwards. So I mean, like obviously that diagonal member is being pulled on and these is being pushed on. Like, do you know why they did that on like each of these corners, or is it just like a space thing?
Some of it's got to do, the question was, why are the braces at different angles, different locations? A lot of it's got to do with the space that's available. And what they do is they profile this track in an engineering program and model it, and they figure out where their supports need to be. If they need a support on the outside, they'll put it on the outside. If they need it on the inside, they'll put it on the inside. If they need one on the outside, but they can't put it there, they'll put it on the inside, and it's usually got a little bit more concrete and a little bit more structure to it. So you can put these supports at a lot of different places, but a lot of it's got to do with how the ride is set up, the engineering involved with it, and you can move things around if the engineering is correct.
I might have seen somebody had a question somewhere about how many cycles do we have to run before we can open the ride. And the answer is, you know, there's going to be a lot of cycles run by B&M before the ride gets turned over to us, as they're calibrating the ride and all the brakes and the system. Once it's turned over to us, maintenance is going to run it a number of times, and each train will get at least 100 cycles prior to us opening. So 300 total cycles of the ride, but 100 per train at bare minimum. But that's, again, once it's turned over to us.
Do you need human test dummies?
No, we got water ones.
Well, we're water weight too.
We're willing. We're willing.
Yeah, the question was, do we need human test dummies? And you know, we have to feed people. They have to get off and use bathrooms. So we just use water dummies. They're a little bit more efficient. They don't complain. They don't have to get off and use bathrooms. So
They won't complain.
They won't
We don't
complain.
complain either.
And if they need the bathroom, we just fill them back up again. It's okay.
I have a question. What are these, like, the gray spots every so often?
Oh, we have a repeat question. Somebody wasn't listening earlier. Oh, there we go. You were in the back. Okay, there we go. The gray spots are where the rails have been ground together. Or they've been ground where the track meets together. So that's primer paint. Then when the painter will come back by and paint where all those gray spots are so it matches.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes. And that makes for a nice smooth ride when you grind the joints.
Now the entrance pauses to come in this way.
Right over the track here.
The entrance plaza actually comes, you can see the pillars over here. They'll come, there's a bridge that gets put in right across there. So the entry bridge is perpendicular to the track. So you'll walk right over the track. And if you're riding, you'll fly right under the bridge.
That's awesome.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. I got one more question.
All right, now the structure of the bridge, will there be like a glass floor so we could see underneath it, or will it just be not like
That'd be great.
No glass.
I had a question about, will there be a glass floor on the bridge? That was part of one of the original design ideas that we had, but when we actually got into the technical execution of that, we decided that we did not want all these people having to take their shoes off and walk on our glass bridge with their stocking feet. So we decided not to put the glass on the bridge.
Now, I noticed in the animation there were some glass railings. Is that still going to be, or will it be a different? It'll be different. Okay.
The animation was made very early on, and
Okay.
there are changes. Actually, the midways won't have those big circles that are in there. They're going to be straight. A lot of the landscaping, there were changes to some of the profile of the buildings. Just that was so early on.
Okay.
So like those
construction.
imprints of the two states won't be there?
It won't.
Oh, that was a cool idea.
It was. The where it just says Carowinds in the circle, that's going to look a lot better than it does in the animation. That really came to
Are
life.
you guys bringing back the fountain?
Okay, let's This is a very large group tour.
Oh yeah, it's larger than
Normally I do a tour for about 50 people and I don't have to use this. It's large. So, it's necessary. I'm fine. Then you have the man with the GoPro on a stick.
Always.
Saves the arm.
There you go. It's nice.
Now that house is in South Carolina and that house is in North Carolina.
That is correct.
Short people.
Huh? Short people. Oh, yeah.
How did you know
He's the same height as me, so I can't call him
Yeah, I'm
short.
standing on the highest place I can stand right now. We are gonna, we're not gonna do should we give them away? No. Should we, like, are these door prizes? The general manager just handed me some, Mike just handed me some screws to use as door prizes. Would anybody like one?
I have 3.
Here we go. Now what I ask is you
Don't lick it.
don't lay them on the ground. Take them home. Here, pass those around.
What did you do with them?
I don't know. Gosh.
You can sell us boxes of
But that's true. Okay, can everybody hear me? I'll go ahead. This is the site we're putting the Slingshot up. Mike's gonna kill me later, I can tell.
What was here before?
What was here before? We had a game kiosk.
Monorail station.
Wow, we're really going back now. Yes, this is where the monorail station used to be. When we put the vortex up, the monorail station had to come down. We actually did find a monorail footer over here while we were digging. So those little carcasses are still out here. We actually found a couple when we were doing the parking lot. So
the lake used to be out here.
yes, it did, and we found them. I think we've uncovered 4 this year.
Wow.
So
Did you
depending
save
on,
them?
huh?
Did you save them for me?
We did not, but they're about 8 feet tall, and the concrete's very hard with a piece of steel in it. Anyway, this is our slingshot site. The tower will be 60 meters tall, which is right under 200 feet. Someone asked a question about an FAA light earlier, whether this ride would have to have one. As long as whatever you're building is not more than 200 feet tall, you do not have to put an FAA light on it. Anything 200 feet or taller has got to have an FAA light on it. That's why we have 4.
Doesn't the seat shoot up more than 200?
It does, but the structure is not higher than 200 feet. So they're not. There's not supposed to be a plane within 2,000 feet of any structure. So we actually have 4 FAA lights here. You'll see them on top of Fury, Intimidator, Sky Tower, and Windseeker. I've got somebody back here helping me. It's kind of cool. All right, so there'll be 2 towers that go up here. Fun Time will actually come in and help put the ride up. It goes up in 2 sections. You put them together on the ground first. So each tower is put together in 2 sections. So you put the first one up, which is about 30 meters, and then you set the other one on top of it. So you don't have to have a 200-foot crane to do it. You set it up a little bit above the tipping point, about 20 meters off the ground, and then you set it on there and then bolt it all together. They'll climb and do the rest of it from there. So it actually goes up pretty quick. We are going to try to have this open for the 28th. If we can work it into the schedule, we'll have it open for the 25th. There again, it all depends on when the ride shows up, the weather. There's a lot of conditions that happen here. Obviously, we've just started excavating now for the foundations. You'll see some water pipe over here, some conduits. You stick a shovel in the ground out here at Carowinds, you're going to hit something. So we've got to reroute some of the stuff around before we can put the foundations in. Any questions?
So just to be clear, like, is there anything like that we're going to use on the slingshot like here on site right now, or is all this just like leftover that you're trying to work with?
No, this is the question was: is there anything here that's part of the slingshot? The answer is no. No, we're still in demo excavation mode. We're moving the water lines around, so they're not underneath the foundation. So that's what we're doing right now. They'll probably pour mud mats to set the first embedments and show up on the 20th. So they should have a point cell outside, change the way that it operates inside so we can increase our capacity over here. But this is going to be a very busy area this year with the introduction of Fury, because this is the only way to get here. The path that you took today is how you'll get here. Let me get over
Can't
here.
do it running on the bulls through that.
Oh, sure. No tomatoes.
All I ask is you stay on the hard surface over here, okay? You can come up around over here to the gathering. 4 space over here on my left, which will be your right. If you want to. There should be enough room for everybody to get a front row seat, I think. If you want to sit on my plan, if you sit on my plan, that's okay too.
The brick runs rough though.
Yeah, they're not quite clear.
They'll stop you.
But they're not quite
Stop you dead.
Okay, this is the Fury Station and the Fury Plaza. The store with the glass in it right here. That's actually the ride photo shop, and that's actually where you'll exit the ride. The entrance to the ride is over here on your right. You see the spiral staircase right there? The queue line goes right past that, and it goes down the the backbone of the lift. And then you flip around and you come back up, and you see where the guys are walking down the stairs. That's actually the entrance stairs for the ride. You go up on the platform, you actually load from this side. So you'll queue up on this side, you'll enter the train, you go across. So when you get off the train, you actually exit on the other side of the station, come down the stairs, and then you exit through the photo shop, merchandise shop right here. Any questions?
Yeah, what are they going to be the lines? Are they going to have single riders or anything?
Single riders.
I'll make the sign if you need me to.
I haven't heard anything about single rider line. I know we've got a fast lane ride, fast lane line, we've got a regular line, and then we've got a handicap line. So I haven't heard anything about single riders. Mike out there anywhere? Hey Mike! He's talking to somebody. Oh well. Hey, single rider line, are we? No. Okay, no single rider.
I don't like it.
Well, bring a friend so you've got somebody to talk to in line. You're going to do that anyway.
You're going to be in there.
This area right over here where you see the flagging tape right now, that's where the lockers are going to be. So that's where the locker plaza is. So you put your articles in there that you have. Then you go get in line, you ride the ride. You get back in line, you ride it again. You get back in line, you ride it again. Then you get your articles out of your locker.
There could be a Plaza kind of like intimidator, how they have the winner's circles.
The question is there going to be a plaza area for this ride similar to Intimidator with the winner circle? There is, and it's right here. This is as big as it's going to be. This is all this area right here. This big piece of concrete right here is going away. This is one of those surprises that they found they haven't removed yet. But this big slug of concrete was found in the ground about 4 feet deep. We're not exactly sure why it was here, but it's here. Jimmy Hoffa. Well, we haven't cracked it open yet, so he could be inside.
What about the fast lane plus line? Do you know where the merging point's going to be? Has it been determined?
The merging point is right at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Good.
The question was, where's the fast lane plus merging point going to be? It's going to be at the bottom of the stairs, going up into the station.
So more like Lenny Force and less like 305.
Carowinds is the best for fast lane.
Questions?
How long will it take the train to climb the lift hill? Still waiting.
Question is, how long will it take the lift train to climb the lift hill? If I'm remembering that number right, I think it is 70 seconds. It is a 40-degree lift. It's got the same motor gearbox setup that Intimidator has. So it'll go up the lift at the same speed that the Intimidator does.
Are there any plans for like a tunnel at the bottom or at the bottom of the first hill?
First drop.
The question was, is there any plans for a tunnel at the bottom of the first drop? And it is no. But it is very, very close to the ground. If the area we went and looked at is that low to the ground. It's right on the ground. I can actually put my head up in it and get my head knocked off by the train if I was there. It's very low. You can actually see it on the webcam at the bottom of the hill.
Is the chain in there yet?
The chain is not in there yet. The chain will go in once we finish connecting the last piece of track. It's just a sequence. We could put the chain in now, but we're concentrating on getting all the track together so the electricians can finish.
It must be very heavy. How do you get it in there?
Usually do that with a crane. You do it with a come-along crane, a winch system, and what they'll do is they'll connect that chain in multiple points to help pull it up.
Will the chain return right back down underneath the track, or does it do a different? Like
it actually returns inside.
Inside
the box beam.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So that when the chain returns, you won't see it.
Is it gonna take?
Great question.
Do you have access to the inside section for like the Teflon plating so that it doesn't tear the inside of the chain return?
Yes, we do. Yep, there's access to it. I don't know exactly what the details are on that one, but I know there's ways to get in there and inspect that and check it and change it.
Years ago, there was an Aero used to do like an air pressure thing inside the rails. Is that even needed these days?
No. Our rails are full of sand now. They did that to actually check for cracks and welds. That's why they would pressurize their track like that. Yep. They don't do that anymore.
A lot of times when you do your fireworks show, like you put it behind hurdles, just like make it look easier. That's not going to have any effect on that.
The question was, is this ride going to have any effect on our fireworks show? The answer to the question is yes, it is. And you'll have to come out and find out exactly where we're going to shoot from. Because if I told you now, it would probably change. We're working on that. Any other questions? You can't ride it right now. It's not ready.
But we can walk off.
How long do you think it'll take?
I'm gonna climb to the top.
I know.
The last piece of track is supposed to show up next week. So once it's here, it'll probably be a couple, 3 days after that before we put it in place. No. There's we've got I think 5 more trucks worth of track, so there's probably 10, 15 pieces left to show up. We're almost done. Right.
How many squirrels did you
I have a two-part question. Question one is, what's the horsepower of the lift hill motor?
The question was, what's the horsepower of the lift hill motor? It's 500 horsepower. It's actually the same setup as on Intimidator, which is also 500 horsepower. It's a DC motor hooked up to a gearbox. We do have the diesel engine on it, so in case of a power failure, we can actually run the lift without power. So we can go ahead and throw you over and evacuate it in a safe position.
And second part question is, how heavy is the train?
You can't carry it.
I don't have an exact weight on the train, but each car is about 6,000 pounds. So there's eight cars to the train, 32 people, so 50,000 pounds. I know that the price of each train is about $1 million. It's $1 million a train, and we have 3. And we will run all 3 trains. Just like Intimidator, we run all 3 trains.
Are the trains going to be ran on the weekends like it was Intimidator, or is it going to be during the week as well?
No, we'll run all 3 trains. If it's a slow day, we might take one off, but probably not. Being the first season, being the popularity of this coaster, being the new premier ride here at Carowinds, we'll probably run all 3 trains every day that they're available.
Where do you switch them at? Where are they going to come off?
The question was, where's the switch track at? If you look over my shoulder, the right-hand side, you'll see some white framing over there with little gray clips on the top of them. That's where the roof gets mounted, but that's the storage track. All 3 trains will sit in that track, and there's three different lines in there parallel with each other. They're actually stacked side by side, which is a little bit different than Intimidator. It's just we can actually stack 2 trains behind each other and 1 next to it. Here we get all 3 trains next to each other. It's a little bit more efficient when you can do all 3 trains next to each other for picking which train you want to put on when.
And that is, did you say 5,000 pounds each?
The question was, with the gray frames that looks like a hexagon at an angle, are those the shade structures for the queue line? The answer is yes, they are.
Are they going to leave?
Yeah. The question was, will the Silver Screen Maze be accessible after this? And yes, it will. We're putting a new walkway that'll go right around these columns and behind the ride to access that maze. Yep, good question.
Will the flags stay up there when it's all done, or does that come down, or what do y'all do with it?
The American flag will come down. That's something when you top out a ride or top out a building.
Or a Christmas tree.
Or a Christmas tree, yeah. Typically, you'll put an American flag on anything you build in the U.S. if it's a building or a ride, any kind of structure like that when you hit the highest point.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the flag's up there. We put a Christmas tree up there as a Christmas
Yeah, I saw
present.
the Christmas tree.
Right?
I just was curious if it stays up there or not. Or
No, it'll come down.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We are looking at it. Be careful now. Don't sink. He did say 6,000
Fury
pounds
325
each.
sign will be right here. Right here. Right. See the ball, let's go.
You're gonna hold it right.
Where's the sign guy?
Sure thing. I just want to show you how muddy it was too. Any other questions? Comments? Concerns?
Where would the lockers be?
All right.
Right there.
lockers
Oh, did I
are
miss
gonna
that?
be-
Oh, okay.
Sorry. The lockers are going to be right over here where the yellow tape is.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how many lockers? Got a Banshee when that first line was,
Yeah, the line was pretty bad.
with that first, first few days.
I think it's 400 plus lockers.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We don't expect everybody to put their stuff in the locker. They'll probably leave it with family, friends, or they'll just leave it and not bring it with them. Or they'll have fanny packs or pockets.
Can you ride with a fanny pack?
Because
Because I know Banshee you couldn't.
Oh.
But the other ones you
I'm gonna
could.
have to defer that question to the operations team.
Okay.
I was going to say yes you can, but since you said that, I'm going to say I don't know.
Yeah. I learned the hard way.
And the question was, am I going to paint the drop tower this year? And no, I'm not.
Drop tower.
I have a price for it, but I don't
Yeah,
have
drop
funding
tower,
for
we
it.
got
So
Fury.
I'm not going to paint it this year. Maybe not.
I don't even see a drop tower.
Would it probably stay the same colors or like change it?
If you painted it.
Yeah, if you painted it.
If
Or you
I
don't
painted,
know.
I'd paint it back the same colors, but
Almost
they're-
identical.
I don't they don't let me pick colors around here.
Ah.
There's more creative people. I get to build it, somebody else gets to pick the colors.
Gotcha.
And that's probably a good thing, otherwise it'd be green, brown, and blue. Maybe yellow. Any other questions? If there's no more questions, we're going to go ahead and go back to Harmony Hall.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hope everybody's had a good, enjoyable trip. Hope you enjoyed my tour. I would say there's comment cards at the end, but there aren't. Steve Jackson, enjoy your day.
Thank you.